We all appreciate that, Steve. Thank you so much. Hi, Jennifer. All right, you guys, welcome. Today is February 24th. This is our last Twilight session of the month. And I am Dani Betancourt, your success coach for the Manteca Modesto Market Center. So we always like to pour in and just, see what everybody's struggles are, hurdles, and how we can work through them. So a lot of us newer agents, because we have newer and some seasoned, which I really like because of the fact that we are going to dive in an interactive atmosphere. And I want everybody to really think hard about the facts of leads. Tonight, we are talking about leads. How do we get them? What are the sources that we have for them? And once we do get them, what do we do with them, right? Okay, yes, Ms. Betancourt, he has authorization. Okay, sorry. Okay, so what do we do with them when we get them? Sorry, guys, like I said, phone call. So with that being said, I know that Sandy has picked up a few recent clients. And I want everybody to kind of mastermind a little bit about how we get those clients and the different sources, because we always want to have 4 legs of business. So Sandy, can you share with them real quick how you got your client that you have in escrow and the 2 active ones that you're working with?
Well, it's actually a funny story. My very first client, and I'll go quick, I got from my dog. He got me my first lead. I know. He's very popular in the neighborhood, and all the kids come over. They want to play with him. No, he can't go out without mommy. So they were here. They knocked on my door one day when I got my business cards, and they wanted one. So I passed out my business cards. There were like 8 of them. Next week they come back. They want another one. I'm like, well, may as well, right? I'm not giving them to anyone else. Just kidding. But anyway, so the week after, one of the dads of one of these children called me and said, I've been really nervous about buying a house because I don't know what to do. Can you help me? He was my first lead. We are currently in contract in escrow right now. So then there was a client that actually was looking at houses, and one of the houses they saw was on the market for like 4 days, and they wanted to figure out what to do to buy a house. It went pending. In talking to friends, come to find out, my client was the one who bought that house. And they were like, you're kidding me. And so, cause they knew each other. So that client is now my next client, right? Because they said, well, if she can find you that house, which we wanted, then she'll find us one. So that was, I mean, it just, I want to say luck, but I don't want to say luck because, I've really worked on this. But then my third one that I have, my other job I'm moving from is I'm an EMT. So I'm a first responder. And I received a flyer in regards to saving $1,000, toward your purchase of a new home that CVAR and Keller Williams was going to offer. However, it was only to the first 50 applicants. What did I have to lose? I sent it to a couple of people that I had been, it's not fertilizing.
Cultivating.
Nurture. I like fertilizing. I love that.
I like fertilizing too.
Cultivating. So, and then I got a response from one. She said, it was like 4 days later. I may not be the first 50, but I'm going to tell you, I'm ready for this because I know that you're trying to save me money. And all I said was, look, another way Keller Williams and I are trying to save you money in your home buying venture. So there it is. That's my third one. So yeah.
Good deal. Good for you.
Oh my gosh. Yes. So what I heard, first one was a relationship that you were establishing, right? Mm-hmm. Second one was a relationship, right?
Right.
And the third one was because you went out on a limb and got creative and stuck with it.
Yeah.
Yes, I love that. I love that. Fantastic. Thank you for sharing, Sandy.
You're welcome.
Those are great resources, right? As I said, we always want to have 4 legs of business. Where do we get business from? When I very first got into this business, I worked full time, just like a lot of you, okay? And my first clients were clients that actually were people I worked with because I just had conversations with them. And I said, hey, if you ever consider, I'd love the opportunity to serve you. And I always told them, my team and I will work hard to earn your business, because that's exactly what you guys have. Even though we are solo agents, we are a team, right? And so you always want to present yourself that. It's never an I, it's a we. People feel so much better when they go, oh, she said we. Well, who are they? Right? I mean, you may not have a team, but your team and my team is my escrow company, my transaction coordinator, my inspectors, my lenders, all of them, the notary, that's my team, because I'm going to reach out, I'm going to know that notary first, right? So I established those relationships. So always keep in mind that when we're working our leads, all it is fertilizing, cultivating. I love that saying. But that's exactly what it is.
I like fertilizing.
Yeah. The base of everything always comes from working the people that we know, right? And from that point, we're not asking them for business. We're just having a relationship. Remember, this is as Gary always says, this is a contact sport. It is not about the sales. It is the relationships, bottom line, and everything else comes. So, Bonna, you've had experience. Tell me a little bit of where you've gotten some of your leads.
Yeah, so most of the time referrals, but I do interact. Like, let's say I went, when I go walking, I walk in my neighborhood. So I get the chance to interact with my neighbors. And I got buyers out of it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, I would say referrals, open houses, interaction, whoever, if you are in the grocery store, Costco, Starbucks, wherever you are, just to start a conversation with the people, and you would be able to get the business out of it. So
yeah, that's awesome. I love those resources. When I started my business, half of my business came from my sphere and the other half came from open houses, right? But the main thing that you always have to take away when you do open houses is you have to be very purposeful when you're doing your open houses. You don't want to be there just babysitting in the house for a couple hours, right? You need to have purpose, and you need to know, how am I going to get people's information? How am I going to get them to give it to me, right? Because we don't want to stand there and hand them a flyer and say, hey, thanks for coming by, have a great day. Because then that's what, that's telling them, kiss of death, see ya, thanks for coming through, right? We want to be able to capture their information. So when we're doing open houses, Raina, you've been very successful when capturing people's information in open houses. Share with us some of your tactics.
Honestly, I think it's just been being personable, and and showing them that that you have information to provide them or value to provide them. And I think that's where it's at, because people want relationship and they want value.
That's right. All right. So let me dig a little deeper. What is an item of value that you would suggest that's been successful in your business?
I think a lot of people do not know what a realtor can provide them. And I think for myself, I have tried to work business to business. And I think I actually got that from Dani. And so gathering information in regards to who's the best out there regarding vendors, I think has helped me to kind of put my foot in the door when people are not looking for a realtor, but they do have housing needs. So I think having that type of list on hand helps people that have homes that may not be looking to buy or sell right now, but are just that they want that type of information. I think that's one way to provide value. Another way is staying informed on what the market is doing and what's happening. That's definitely another way that people are constantly asking those questions. Oh, what do you think about the market? Oh, what do you think? What do you think about the rates? Is it a good time to buy? Is it a good time to sell? So everybody's always looking for an opinion.
That's right. That's right. And the good thing is that it's just an opinion. It's not the facts. I'm not a lender, but I'd be happy to set you up with one of my preferred affiliates to be able to get you information that's tailored to your needs specifically, right? So that's fantastic. One thing that has worked well for me that I'm going to share with you at open houses, but you have to be very, you have to be intentional and cautious when you do this. But a lot of the times with open houses, if it's a hot area and you know that it's a big open house weekend and there's several in that area, I print other houses that are doing open houses. It doesn't have to be comparable to that home. It's just I'm adding them. Hey, you happen to be out and about. You saw my open house sign. You popped in. What exactly are you looking for if this isn't the house of your needs? Right. And if they say, oh, well, you know, we're really looking, we had to see this one because it just looks so pretty, but we're actually looking for this price point, you know, because, you know, people like to go and looky-loo at some prices that may be out of their budget. Right. So when you provide a list of some other open houses that are in the area that are part of their price point or not, you're providing value. Although, in order to get that list from me, I need you to go ahead and register here. Now I got their information, or, you know, so those are certain ways. The key to it, though, is follow up. Do not send them out the door with the list. You have to follow up that day. Like within the couple hours, you have to follow up and say, hey, Sandy, how was that house that you saw over at blah, blah, blah? Hey, would you guys like to go back and do a private tour of that home? I would love to have that opportunity, right? Now I'm on them hot. We can get leads all day, but if we don't follow up with them, that's where the gold is. Sandy, go right ahead.
Yeah, just to piggyback on that, I was thinking earlier because I believe it was Rana that had a great idea about, you know, showing the buyer's presentation. And what I was thinking about it afterwards, I want to capture that client without giving them something to take away with them. So what if I laminated my buyer's presentation and used it as a tool, a guide, right? And then they get excited about it and say, oh, I can send you one of these. Let me get your phone number or your email to capture that contact. Do you know what I mean? And then you can send it to them, and then you've got that contact. Because if you, I mean, and you can make notes with a wipe off pen or whatever, and it comes right off on your laminated buyer's agreement. But I don't mind giving them a copy, but I want to be able to capture them first.
Absolutely. You can give them value, right? But the main key is we are there to be intentional and personal, purposeful, to make sure that we are capturing and having a conversation, at least with everybody that walks through that door, right?
Thank you, Rana. You got me thinking.
Yes. And Rana, some people that are on
You are welcome. Yes.
On that
but you know what? I'm sorry, Dani. I have an idea to add some more pages to my buyer presentation, and I'll send it to you guys as soon as I get it all done. But I got some ideas too now.
Perfect. Yeah, thank you.
So Rana, what I was saying is that a lot of people that are on here were not able to attend the class today. So can you just briefly run through, like for Carolina and for Steve and for Juan, exactly what it was that was successful for you at the open house?
Like how to catch the lead?
What you did, the buyer's presentation, because they're all probably wondering, what are they talking about? Because they weren't here earlier. Yeah. So
it's about like the step-by-step, like especially for first-time home buyers, what to expect on, you know, when you meet with the journey of finding a house and going step by step of the, looking for a house, getting pre-approved, what we should look in that, what's the most important as a buyer in this market to look at. And then at the end, there is some explanation about some terms like what's escrow, what's and then I have a lot of my buyers, they don't know what's Millerus or what's HOA or this piece of information that it was, they were like, oh, what? HOA, what's HOA? So like I printed some information, some of them from the internet, and I explained to them what's HOA, what's Millerus, especially like new development. So it was like, wow, oh, I like that. I like this idea of having, if each word has its own definition, and then I'll explain a little bit. I'll summarize everything when I see them, especially if I feel like they are listening and they are willing to stand next to me for a couple of minutes and ask questions. So it helped.
Okay, so let me ask you, where did you make this buyer presentation?
Just from comment, and I added some extra. I added some extra page here, and you know what? Actually, some of the title company, they have a good. It's like summarized one page, step by step on the buying process. I like that as well. So you can do this if someone doesn't want to read all these pages, and then if they stand next to me, and I will like kind of pinpoint the most important steps. So I'll tell them, you don't need to read all of this, but look at page so and so and so, and they will agree.
Yeah, and that is really good. And so I'm going to piggyback a little bit on this, because as we know, the market is correcting a little bit, right?
Oh, I don't know about that.
Well, it is, because what we are seeing is the fact is that if a home comes on the market on Tuesday, it's not pending by Friday. They're actually doing open houses now. So we're starting to see more open houses every weekend, and homes aren't going pending before it even gets to the open house, right? Although what we are also seeing is that it's springtime. People are excited. People want to view homes. So they're out there. Open houses, if it's priced right, right location, it's that house, right? That's going to be a super busy open house. So to piggyback with this, I think that the buyer presentation is a fantastic idea. I think Sandy's idea of shortening up and not handing it to him to capture them is fantastic. I would say, if anything, also keep in mind that you want to keep it short and sweet, because you're not going to be able to have a full conversation with one couple if you've got 5 other coming through. You need to be able to make a greet. You need to make an impression on each person that comes through that open house. So when you have these presentations, I think they're fantastic, but be intentional and purposeful of how long it needs to be and the type of information that you're going to put in it. Fair enough?
You want them to come back. You want to tease them a little bit. You want them to have questions so they contact you again.
Yeah.
Right?
Like I said, a fish on a hook, right?
Yeah, like today you teased us about the meeting tonight, so I'm here. You see? She's like, you missed a lot of information. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah, this is awesome. This is very awesome. All right, Audrey. So far, we have had referrals, relationship business, our sphere, open houses, and providing open houses and value at these open houses. Give me another lead source that has not been mentioned yet. That has been
making calls.
I love it, right?
Making calls.
All right. Elaborate a little bit more for me.
So, of course, we want to have our value and stuff, but keeping top of mind with our sphere, letting them know again that we have some value for them, and if we're keeping in touch with them, they're going to stay top of mind.
Perfect.
Hopefully, we're staying top of mind.
Yes. Now, let me ask you: do you have a system that works well for doing that?
I do the DTD2 emails, which I find helps me a lot, because every I'm signed up for it. It's on a smart plan, and it reminds me just weekly. I get an email. It's like, oh, and it's very small. I don't have a huge sphere. So it'll say, you know, call the N's and the S's this week, you know, and so it's not overwhelming.
Yes. Yes. So for a lot of anybody, does everybody know what the DTD2 is?
Mhm.
I don't.
Perfect. Thank you, Juan. All right. DTD2 means we are doing the database 2. So we're taking 2 letters because there are 26 letters in the alphabet. So we take 2 letters every week and we focus on calling those 2 letters throughout the week. Now, some of us that are in bold got a little nugget and I just love it, right? So our whole goal is we want to have at least 20 conversations a day. 20 is a lot. So I always tell everybody, focus on 5, just 5 conversations a day, right? So for example, the letters this week are S and U, okay? They're always broken up. So you're going to call everybody that has, you can do first name or last name. Don't overthink it, right? I have everybody, I do it under the last name and I tag them in my command with those letters, SU. And then when I go to my contacts, it already pulls it up that it's time to do a quarterly call with that person. So every week, I'm going to call every day 5 people with the last name that starts with an S. And then once I get through all my S's, then for the rest of the week, I'm going to call everybody with the last name letter of U, right? Now, the reason why it is DTD2 is because every 12 weeks, it restarts because we've already gotten through all the letters. So that means that you're touching and staying top of mind at least every 4 months or every quarter with your database, let alone when you're calling them for happy birthday, when you call them to say happy anniversary, when you call them to say, hey, I know your kids are having a birthday because you've seen it on Facebook. All of those extra little calls is what's going to keep you top of mind. And it's not asking for sales. It's just having a conversation. The DTD2 takes the complicatedness out of, and the fear out of calling people, right? And I get the same fear at times, guys. I do. There's times where I get in the office and I'm like, oh, okay, it's 8:30. Who am I going to call? Okay, wait, you know what? Do I want to call that person? Yes, I do. And regardless, if they don't answer, I'm just going to shoot them a quick text. And so, as I was saying, you know, you can break it down. If Monday's a good day for you, a lot of you work Monday through Friday, right? So if Mondays and Tuesdays are too hectic of days at work for you, then make it those days that you're only going to make sure you're going to talk to 2 to 3 people, right? And then Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, you're going to talk to 5, 7, 8, somewhere to where you're going to hit that number of 20 people a week. Because what would that look like when you're having 20 conversations a week, just conversations with people that you're going to stay top of mind? That person may not be looking to buy or sell, but they're going to go, oh my gosh, I was just talking to Sandy just the other day, and it just came up and she was telling us that she's got these great programs. Oh my goodness, right? Let me give you her number. That's how it happens, guys. It's just by staying top of mind. And so the reason why we came up with that DTD2 system is because it eliminates the bias, right? We all go through our phone, and I'm guilty of it. And I'm like, ooh, I haven't talked to that person in a year. Ooh, I don't know if they want to hear from me, right, Audrey?
Exactly. I did call someone the other day whom I haven't spoken to in a long time. And the first thing he said was, are you going to sell me a house? I said, no, I don't want to sell you a house. I just want to see how you're doing. But that's the important thing. He knows I can sell him a house, or if he's selling a house. That was the important thing right there. So I didn't have to say it.
And you ended up having a whole just regular conversation, I bet.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, we just caught up. Yeah.
Yeah. And so you'll be surprised. I actually called somebody that I hadn't talked to Oh gosh, I want to say probably about a good 3 years, because he did business with my late father. And I just haven't called him. And he came up on my DTD2, and it was right there in my command as a task to do. And since we're in bold, I had to make the call. And I will tell you, it was probably one of the most better feeling calls that I had made. And he literally was so happy to know that I was still in real estate and wanted to know specifically the areas that I specialize in, so he can keep me top of mind.
Good deal.
He's up in Sacramento, so who knows, right? I mean, it's just, we gotta make those phone calls. So I love that. DTD2 is one of my favorites, if you can't tell.
And I suggest everyone push yourself even more. Whatever the goal is you're given, you know, Barbara gave a goal for PC meeting. Oh, that's your, never mind.
No. Barbara gave a goal of 5 contacts.
Yeah, 5,
is what
right.
I want. Yeah.
Push yourself a little harder, because I have to say that since I've been in bold, I don't know how to not achieve 100 per week now. It's habit. It becomes habit. And I'm like, 5? What do you mean 5? You know, I mean, 5 a day, obviously, but it just, the more you push yourself and make yourself call, the easier it gets. And you would be surprised at how many relationships that are mended from this. And, you know, it just gives you a good feeling. So push yourself. It makes a huge difference. It'll be a great payoff.
Yes. Yes.
Dani, I have a couple of questions.
Ahead,
yeah, sorry. Before I forget these. So 3 things. So the first one you mentioned is, in order to get your list of other properties, they have to fill out your info. Are you asking for everything that makes for a fantastic contact in command? Name, address, email, phone, birthday. Are you asking for all of it?
Great question. No, I asked for their address, right? And it's actually on a form. It's an open house form that I already have.
Yep.
And it says address of the home, the date, their address. And then I ask, how did they hear about the open house? Because this is very important, guys, especially if it's your own listing. You want to know what drove them in. Was it the open house sign placement, or was it Zillow, or was it their realtor, right? So you want to know these things, right? And then I put on there, what did you like most about the home? What would it make different in order for you to offer today? Are you working with a realtor? And I still put their name, email, and phone number. So I got 4 out of the 5, 4 out of the 6, 6, because what I want to create is just enough for them to be comfortable enough with my knowledge and experience and the short conversation that I had with them at the open house to be able to follow back up with them, right?
Okay.
And that's key, is the follow-up. Second question.
Yeah, so second question, I think, is probably directed at Sandy based on her conversation around the buyer's presentation. So I had gone in after last week's meeting and went into command on the buyer's presentation. That's way too much information. There's just way too much in there. It really needs to be a 1-pager, kind of like Sandy's talking about. You're saying, Sandy, that you're getting that from your mortgage folks that are providing that for you?
Well, there's many ways that you can get the information you want. And the buyer's presentation in command is very lengthy. Yes,
yeah, way too
it's
much.
A lot. You can delete the pages out you don't want to use. And then
Yeah.
you can combine them. You can create your own buyer's presentation from command to where it streamlines it. So, depending on what you want to use for your presentation, there's a page that says, preferred vendor list. There's a page that talks about the lenders, whatever you want to add into it to make it yours and where you're comfortable presenting it. Now, the one that I would actually give to clients that I'm going possibly into contract with, maybe longer, obviously, than one I get at the open house. The open house, I want a teaser. I want them to call me or be able to call them. And then you incorporate the rest of it. So you might have a couple different buyers presentations. Does that
Okay,
make
so
sense?
the one pager, like I said, the one pager you're getting from like your mortgage, one of your preferred mortgage lenders, that's the teaser, and then you create the, you know, reduced one, because the command one is how many pages? Like 30 something pages. That's way too long.
Yeah.
Let me help you with that. Hold on,
Let me help you with this a little
Oh.
bit.
Yeah.
The one in command at 39 pages, that's way too much. Your
Yeah.
buyer presentation, when you're actually set the appointment and you are face to face in your full consultation, should be anywhere about 10 pages, 12 to 13 topped, right? Because that they're going to get their most knowledge and information from you. That is just a bullet point. The one at the open house should be more of a very short, maybe 3 or a 1-page flyer.
Yep.
Okay, that's what that really at the open house, because you don't want to give them your whole goal is to set appointments and get them in there to where you can get them to the contract. But if you give them too much information up front, they're not setting that appointment with you, right?
No.
Yeah.
Danny, I have this one from First American Title. It says the life of an escrow, and actually it has like what's the buyer's status, the sellers. This is like nice and short and sweet.
Okay. And Robert, I would like to hear from you. 'Cause I know you wanted to.
Here's what I did. I copy and paste somebody's.
Right?
I found one I liked, and I did a one page. I have a presentation and I have a one pager. I have both. And the one pager is right. It's perfect. It's just enough information. It gets them there. They read it, and then I can call and get another one. But I just searched in other people's, and I just put my name in and what I wanted, and that was easiest for me.
Yes.
Can you send us your one pager, Robert? Because I may, yeah. I don't have a one pager. So I'm sorry, Steve, if I led you to believe I did. Mine's like 3 to 4. And then the 10 to 12. So I'm working on a one pager.
Yeah, Robert, if you'll email that to me, then I can email out to everybody.
Yeah.
If you're willing to share that. But I'm going to tell you right now that if you still revert back to Arthur had an amazing one, and I think it was no more than 10 pages, right? And Robert will tell you, Sandy will tell you, pretty much anybody who's worked with me will tell you, I am an R&D queen. I'm going to find somebody that is doing something at a higher level than I am and is being successful at it. And I am going to rip off and duplicate it and add my flair, right? And
Learned it
that's
from
what
you.
it is. Why invent the wheel, you guys? Don't make it harder on ourselves. We have already made it hard enough.
Yeah.
Okay, Dani,
go ahead.
Yeah, one more thing, and I don't want to take up everybody else's time. So let me get this out real fast. And I think it was Raina. Raina mentioned about the vendor list. So Raina, you're talking about, you've got on this list, you've got maybe a preferred locksmith, you've got a carpet cleaner, you've got a mortgage lender, you've got this or that. That's just kind of your preferred list of these vendors to work with, which again is something that can provide value for folks during their process.
I wouldn't say it's my preferred list. I would also say like it's the community's preferred list, because the information's not just attained by me. I could have had like a great experience with someone, but then somebody else next door is like, yeah, no, I'd never work with them again. Well, guess what? I'm going to take them off the list, because if they did that to somebody else, and I don't want to, which it has happened. I've referred business to people that I thought, well, those are great friends of mine. I'm sure that they'll do a great job. And then I'm like embarrassed to call those people because they did a horrible job.
Okay. Yeah. So it's from what you're getting from the community based upon their experience. And that's how you build the list.
Right.
Okay.
And you can also get referrals from like next door neighbor site, if you're familiar with that, where it's like that social next door neighbor. They're always asking for referrals, but the idea behind the preferred vendor list too is that it is a relationship you are building with that vendor.
Of course.
You also want to talk to them.
that's what I'm going to tell you guys. I'm going to stop you right there and say that one, I would, on a preferred vendor list, I probably wouldn't add a mortgage lender, because you want to be the introduction between you and a client with the mortgage lender. So that's number one that I'm gonna piggyback on. Number two is that I will tell you guys, I am in a business networking group. Okay, so I'm a director of a networking group. What am I doing? I am meeting business owners almost every day. I call up a business owner and say, hey, I'd love to get to know you and your business and the services you provide, because what I want to do is have a relationship and be able to be comfortable with them being on my referral list. But at the same time, if they get to know me and my personality and how I do my business, we're going to exchange referrals. And isn't that another lead source? Right? So let's think at a little bit of a higher level. We don't want to just say, hey, here's a list of vendors. We actually want to go, hey, this is a list of vendors that I have a relationship with. It doesn't take much to have a one-to-one Zoom meeting with a vendor to learn about their business. And when you do that and you take the time to invest in them, they're going to start to ask about you and your business, and you get to know them, their family, their likes or dislikes, just like we do with our clients, right? So try to take this to another level and think this could actually be another lead source. I get referrals from Sandy.
And I was just going to say, if you have the email, Steve, from Barbara today about, the scripts, those scripts about the vendor list and the door knocking, we kind of incorporated them. But that really gives you a great idea of how to talk to clients about the vendor list and how it can actually help you get leads. So you might just want to review that.
Thank you. I'll look at it.
All right.
Absolutely. Okay, that goes on to our next lead source, door knocking. Who's been successful in door knocking? Who wants to share what works well for them in door knocking? Michele?
I've done it, but I can't say I have had success so far. I mean,
I love it.
It's going to happen, but I just haven't yet.
You know what?
Yeah, I've done it too, but no, not a lot of success with it.
Okay, I love it. I love it. The reason why I'm saying this is because I've done it too, right? Not a lot of success on it. So we have to know all of our sources, and then we have to find what works for us. Because Raina, I think, is successful in door knocking, if I'm not mistaken. Not to put you on the spot, but because that works for her. So Raina, you want to share with us how you're successful at that?
So I had a listing in Sacramento, and I think the rule of thumb is like 10, 10, 10. So mine was in a cul-de-sac, so there was actually 3 sides. So I took advantage of all 3 sides. And on those doors that I knocked, there was one that was a little aggressive, and I just kind of ran the other way. And then there was people that didn't answer, and then there were some that did answer, and it was honestly such a rewarding experience because I approached it as, hey, I want to include you on what's happening here, and I have some information to provide. And from there, basically the relationship grew. There was one person that I actually think I have like 3 or 4 people that I took from just that one experience and put them into my database. In one of those, it turned into a potential listing in the future. Another one, they're moving from LA to the area, and another one wants to purchase something for their son. And then another one, she didn't really want to commit and purchase a home, but it turned into a relationship that I can literally call to this day. And she was interested in buying or renting another house. So that was 4 4 opportunities that were made from one session of door knocking. And it was just, I mean, my thing is always to be personable and to have a, I guess a valuable approach. Like there's something that I had to give. And even with the one that I had listing, I came back, I think it was like a week later, just to provide some time. And I gave him a CMA for the area.
Yes, yes, I love it. Absolutely love it. So when you say the 10-10, what that means is, guys, is if the listing is here, you're going to knock 10 doors to the left, knock 10 doors to the right, and go across the street, and that'll be 20. So that way you're hitting 40 homes, and it can be done within an hour, right? And there have been people that have been very successful with the door knocking. Now, if you have a farm or trying to build a farm, that is a perfect way to do a face-to-face introduction, right? How many of you live in a neighborhood that you're able to door knock at least 100 homes?
Probably.
Yeah.
All of you, right? Awesome. So I'll share with you what I'm doing on my door knocking. I am getting my magnets, yearly calendars, because it's still early in the year, right? I went to my local Chamber of Commerce that has a business directory in it, and it has a list of all of the businesses that are in town. And it has all kinds of little history things about Manteca and all like this, right? So I'm going to take that, and I went and I got some hand sanitizer, little things, right? And I'm providing value. I'm giving something that they're going to keep in their house, at least, hopefully, till the end of the year, right? Because everyone likes a magnet on the fridge. And I'm also providing value and introducing myself as their neighborhood community agent. And that's the only thing I'm coming from. And it's as simple as that, because it's just a simple introduction.
And
So,
I think I forget about measuring that success, because I have some clients I've done door knocking where I've now them cultivating them. But they haven't gone further than, cultivating. I haven't.
yeah,
So that's the success I want from it, at least one, but it'll get there. So
it will. It will. And it's consistency, right? I mean, we can't just send a letter out one time and then hope everybody's going to call you from that one letter, right? It's
Right.
got to be consistent. It's got to be at least once a month. You're doing something that you're constantly top of mind. So if you have a farm, or if you don't, I highly recommend to build a farm. Doesn't have to be huge. Start with 25, start with 50 homes and build from there. But get your face known as that realtor. Vanna had mentioned earlier that she had picked up buyers from walking in her neighborhood. Guys, everybody knows I've got some kind of shirt in my neighborhood that says realtor, something that says Keller Williams on it. So I try not to be, or I intend not to be, the secret agent, because I need them to know that I live here and I want to help keep my neighborhood the same way you do, right? Everybody loves that, right?
Mhm.
Who wants to be able to choose their neighbor?
right.
Right.
Steve, go right ahead.
Dani, one other comment to that. So I think it was either last week or the week before, there was discussion that I brought up, and I think you used the term golden letter. So I had sent out, of the probably 450 that I'm going to send, I've sent out 100 so far.
Okay.
And I was very happy to see just yesterday, I actually got a email from my golden letter. So
All right.
the golden letter pretty much was, a lot of you know me from the neighborhood and talking about technology. I also now want you to know me from the neighborhood and talking about real estate, so forth and so on. I have the ability to provide you with a regular update on the neighborhood. And if you get in contact with me, I can give you that information. I look forward to meeting you as the, pandemic starts to lessen and so forth. So this person reached out. I got them immediately on the biweekly nurture for the report. And they are looking to sell. It's not going to be until January, but at least we've got the relationship begun, and we'll be setting up a face-to-face here very shortly.
Awesome.
Congratulations.
Good deal.
I love it. Yes, that is
Thank you.
awesome. That is a success story. So it's funny you say that because I have my golden letters right here on my printer that I have to handwrite. And so I actually had tried to do 200 all at once, and it took me all day, right? So what I decided was I'm just going to every morning, I'm going to take 5 and I'm going to mail out 5 every single day. If I got a couple more minutes, then I'm going to do 10 of them. But at least I got them going out consistently to certain laborers, and I'm being intentional with them also. I'm also kind of geo targeting, you would call it, or geo farming, I think it is one of those, where if it's something where I seen it was a hot neighborhood and a listing and there were several of them in that area and they all had multiple offers, then I make sure to target those areas too. So it's not just, randomly, hey, title company, give me this neighborhood over here. Everybody know what a turnover rate is?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
my turnover rate in my neighborhood is 11%.
Oh, that's amazing. Wow. You should be door knocking on that one big time. Just saying. You need to be that
66
face.
homes, 66 homes will be available.
Yeah, that is huge. So that's huge, guys. So typically, if you can find anywhere between a 5 to 7% turnover rate, you're doing good, right? So
Where
that
do you
is
live, Steve?
Steve,
Where do you live?
where do you live?
Yeah, I know. I want to know where do you live.
I'm not
Don't
telling
tell him,
anybody.
Steve. Don't tell him.
I'm
Steve,
coming
you're
to
about
park
to
your
get
area.
stopped.
Everyone will be door knocking on his house.
Right? And then, let's go, Sandy.
Hey, wait a minute. I just saw you online the other night.
That's awesome.
You know me.
That is awesome. So one of the things, we have about 10 minutes, guys. So one of the things that we've talked about some really great resources. Think hard, be intentional. We want to make your spring, your summer, your second half rock. And now what you do right now is what's going to dictate the next 90 days. So take a moment, be intentional. Think about what lead sources actually I enjoy doing, right? If you don't like knocking on doors and you don't like walking the neighborhood, then don't do it. If you love doing open houses, then do the best and highest level of open houses. If you love just picking up the phone and just having conversations with people every time you can, then do it. But be intentional and be systematic with it. Set the goal. I'm going to talk to 5 people. Before you know it, 5 people is going to turn into 7 to 8 to 10. Now, once you get that lead, do something with it, guys. Don't just stick it on a notepad and put it on a sticky note and go, oh yeah, I talked to that person, I'll put him in command later. No, because you more than likely won't do it. Take 2 seconds at the end of whatever your lead gen was, time block an extra half hour out of your day. So if you say, hey, I only got 2 hours to go door knocking today, then you only have an hour and a half to go door knocking, right? The other half hour, you're going to be putting in all your lead information. You're going to put down your notes of the conversations that you had with people as you're on the phone with them, as you're standing there talking with them, and put it into command and put them on the right campaign. We went through some really great campaigns last week, the 36 touch. I took that and I ran with it. I added quite a few people on a 36 touch that I didn't have on a 36 touch. So all of these things, you have to be intentional and, time block it. Have a way of how are you going to follow up with people and how often. I will say, if somebody tells me that they're not going to buy or sell for a year, you better cut that in half. Cut that time frame in half. I'll tell you right now. because they will get skittish if it's already a plant and you're already starting to drip on them and already starting to let them know values. Don't think, oh, it's July, they're not going to sell till December. They're thinking about selling right then and there. Most people will tell you longer than what their actual game plan is, right? So always keep that in mind. Someone says 12 months, it's 6. Someone says 6, it's 3. So love on them accordingly and have the right follow-up. We know the 5 jobs: lead gen, lead follow-up, setting appointments, negotiating, and scripts and role play. Those are our 5 jobs. Everything else somebody else can do, or we do at a later time. But that's our 20% to give us the 80% results that Sandy has proven by these new leads that she's gotten by doing her 20%.
Well, and the other thing too is you really, I mean, if you can talk to the client and that says, I'm ready in a year, and let them know, you know, people are actually surprised that they're ready a lot sooner than what they anticipated. And all it takes is, you know, meeting with a lender to go over what your needs are. And wouldn't it be better to know what you need to work on rather than guess what you need to work on? Because they'll also give you a plan, an action plan of for you to be ready. There's no obligation, you know, you just, and as soon as they see a lender and the lender tells them that they're ready, guess what? They're ready. They're not going to wait a whole year. They think they have to wait a year.
Hey, you must have a good success coach. So one thing, guys, reach out to your lenders. There's a lender, Mike Marcos from Impact Home Loans. He's been on here before. He just the other day, him and I had a meeting, and he literally showed me a 1-page flyer that was, what is the cost of waiting? And we all know where rates are going right now. And it was just so easy and so 1 page that it made it crystal clear to a buyer to go, oh my gosh, if I do wait 3 months, I'm going to be in a worse position than I am now, right? And so have these type of tools and leverage against these lenders, right? And I guarantee that when you hand them this value, you email them all of this information, you're staying in contact with them, you're following up with them, they will set that appointment with you because they want to know more. They want to know what is the next step. So make sure that you know what is your next step, right? And every client's going to be different. Every client, depending on where they're at. There may be clients that need some creditly challenged, they need some love. That's okay, guys. Set them up with a lender because they can help to guide and educate them to get their credit where it needs to be. So don't go, oh, you're at 520. Yeah, I'll talk to you in about a year. No. You want to always provide value, and you go, oh my gosh, you know what? Everybody's been there. I totally emphasize with that, but here's the great news. I have a preferred lender. I actually have a couple of them that you can talk with. They'll be able to fit your needs, to help you, to educate you, and to guide you on how to get your credit to where we need to be, because we all want to help you to achieve your goals. Mm-hmm. And always come from contribution. When you come from contribution, the people will stay with you. People do business with people that they know, like, and trust. And that's what our job is full of trust and integrity and always providing value and having a relationship.
Well said.
Yeah. Robert, I know you're getting ready to be doing some door knocking. So I'm hoping that you got some good information and some tools for following up after them. And we're going to be real excited to hear about your success on it.
Yes, I am. I'm going to find that neighborhood where Steve's at first. I'm going to.
Yeah, you're in trouble, Steve. You should have said 11%.
He meant 1. He meant 1.
That's crazy. But guys, you know what? To speak of that, if you are going to farm and you don't want to start in your own neighborhood, then talk with your title rep. they will be able to tell you turnover rates of certain locations, right? They can help you with that. So talk with them and be able to get that information. If you don't know who to talk to, reach out to your success coach and we can help connect you. I know I've connected a lot of you guys with the Manteca title reps here, and he has no problem Zooming or, meeting with you one-on-one. Steve, I hope you had a good connection with Sal when you guys got a chance. Very
And
good.
doesn't
That's how he
command-
knew there was 11%.
When you look in command and you pull up neighborhoods, it tells you there too, or does it not?
Not turnover rates.
Not turnover. Okay.
Yeah, it gives you average sales price and the amount of homes sold, but not the actual turnover rate.
Okay.
I like North American DOMA's Title Flex, NatFlex, because I can literally draw little triangles all over and go, ooh, that's a good one. Ooh, no, and I can customize it and just check it out. So,
Okay.
or if you have your rep there, have them do it for you. They know how to do it super fast.
Okay.
Absolutely. But the main thing is, guys, is that we know how to start to have, it's just having conversations. If that's not the biggest takeaway, please take that away tonight. It's just having conversations with people. And once you have those conversations, you just put notes in there and you just continue to have conversations and the business will come. But don't be that secret agent. We need to know who you are, right?
Right.
All right. I hope you guys found value in this tonight.
Yep, definitely. Definitely. Thank you.
All right, you guys. Thank you so
Thank
All
much.
day
you.
today, there's been
Thank
great
you.
classes
Next
all day
week.
today.
I know. My
Thanks,
head's full of
everybody.
knowledge.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.